The acknowledgement of the presence of unknown entities may be superstitious, but many characters have fallen to these inconspicuous apparitions. This video explores the possibility of understanding whether we are alone in this universe and which rules apply to our being. Lovecraftian horror shows its colors vividly, especially his well-regarded story, The Call of Cthulhu, which has been adapted throughout every possible medium, or gave inspiration to many works of art. But the story which inspired Lovecraft to shape and create these otherworldly characters is one not very well known, called HORLA, by a French short story writer, Guy de Maupassant. It explores the world of a man trying to save himself from an unknown entity which haunts him. Through his suffering and the torment being reflected on his body, we see him fighting for his beliefs, for his habits, and his world, which had been built and knowingly is eroding. The fight within. He allows this entity to enter his life. It changes his perspective, plays with his views, and desecrates his mind. It shifts man into madness. The story seeks to explain alienation, torment of humankind, delves through the persistence of one's own character. The fight seeks the unyielding power of compromise. Whether being bad or good, our own path and casting forces us to fight against external forces. All of this should serve as a metaphor of oneself and the perception of the same. The outsider does not belong with us. It is something that we reject with our whole being. Something startling and untrue. Something which is apparent and drains our soul. And we do not have the strength to face it. We do not want to change, especially when knowing that someone or something is forcing us to do so. We build ourselves to our own liking. We put on clothes and masks to appeal to others, doing it for our own amusement of being capable and handy persons. We paradoxically change ourselves, but only to cast another more polished persona. In the midst of this change, this external force comes. We invite it, and then we need to fight it. The main character of the story invites the entity indirectly, and throughout the events of the story, tries getting rid of it, while succumbing to its power. He then decides to burn his house, trapping the entity in it. While burning his house, his servants are forgotten, and they perish in his final conquest. This shows the obsession of the uncompromising character. It shows a sway of path which does not see a wall in front of it, which does not stop itself, makes no boundaries. Possessiveness either finds an exit or destroys itself and the one entangled within. Fire usually denotes cleansing or purification, but at the end does not see a way of getting rid of the apparition. The fire hadn't killed it. He had ventured too far for his haven. This fight with the unknown symbolizes how to deal with your problems, how to deal with life, and perhaps be prepared for the worst, to be wary of the possibilities, of the paths that could be taken. The being's influence becomes more pronounced. The narrator describes moments where he feels his will being undermined, his thoughts invaded, and his actions controlled by this unseen force. He loses a grip over his life, tumbles into the void, and unexpectedly wavers his own demise. The character is meticulous, self-aware, and reflective. He writes his thoughts and experiences. But this gradual overthinking leads him to the horrific conclusion. The story is ambiguously written to show the loss of awareness. I strongly believe that it is a showcase of the unbearable weight of facing the world. The ambiguity of it shows that the narrator is constantly overthinking, obsessing over small details, never being satisfied with the outcome. Lovecraft has, for example, mastered this mythos of the inability of the human race to perceive the supernatural, to understand and conquer the unknown. These writers both delve into an attempt to fight the inner self and the supernatural. They both try it ambiguously and show it through their art. They're trying to save their suffering through their art, in any form or shape possible. It is up to us to choose and perceive in the manner closest to us. Lovecraft said that the biggest fear is the fear of the unknown. This might be our innate primordial instinct of awareness, of the careful analysis of our surroundings. This fear, this instinct, should not hold us back from venturing into the unknown. It should have a middle ground, a silver lining that makes us wonder, that makes us explore and gather knowledge, fight the noblest of the fights, to persevere, to survive. Not to burn all the bridges in order to stop a rebellion, but to face it in finding a solution, a tool which proceeds. Maybe we are just not alone. Maybe our presence is filled with these entities who govern our time and place, beings which say what we feel and what we do. We might be puppets in a world full of paved roads, waiting to be crossed. The story that I have mentioned, and the ones inspired by it, do not deny nor confirm any of the alleged. They state that we need to fight these external forces in order to survive, in order to become worthy of life and its pleasures. We should be well aware of the things which hold us, which govern us. We should shape them and learn how to play with them. There's not something so strange and unobtainable for our minds. No entity, nor a person, or a feeling should stand in the way of our dreams, our aspirations. As long as we know how to fight, as long as we know how to stay alive, everything is meant for us.